Welcome to What's Going On. I'm Robert L. Minter Jr., your host.
And I'm Tanisha Baker, your co-host.
We'd like to welcome you, our viewing audience, to the award-winning show, What's Going On. And if you missed this show, you can go to the Beck Culture Exchange Center, located right here in Knoxville, Tennessee, at 1927 Dandrick Avenue, and ask for the award-winning show, What's Going On.
That's right, and while you're at the Beck, we want you to check out the other features, the exhibits, and things they have going on there. It's quite an asset in our community. I love going there. They have books and archives and newspapers and a new mural.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you can also become a member at the Beck.
Yeah, and get that laminated card.
Now, Mr. Mentor, if he sees your card and it's not laminated, he's not going to believe you're official. So
There
you're
you
going to
go.
have to show your laminated card. But with your membership, you get discounts. You know, you have places there for receptions or parties or get-togethers. You can have a free meeting there once a month. So we encourage you to support the Beck and get your laminated membership card. There's another way you can support the Beck.
All right, and get the legacy brick.
Legacy brick.
Only costs you $100, and you can have some of your relatives inscribed on it, and they'll place it in the Beck Walk of Fame.
You already have your brick.
Oh yes, I already got my brick placed in the Walk of Fame.
I got to get my brick.
You working on
Can
it?
you put it on layaway?
Oh yeah, you can put
Okay.
that on layaway.
Well, I'm going to get my brick because I would like to add my parents' names
Right.
and have them inscribed and put their brick into the Walk of Fame, and that'd make me proud.
Yeah, and you'll get a picture of it sent to you, and it show you how it looks and where it's going to be placed.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
a lot of stuff going on in Knoxville, and I've been mentioning that I got to let the cat out the bag.
You like to tell stuff. Well, I guess you've been doing this a long time. You can't help but tell
I
it,
just
can
got
you?
to tell it. I got to tell it. You got a new show going
I
on.
got a new show. Well, you know, we've been talking about Talking with T, my
Right.
podcast on Mondays, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Google Music, iHeartRadio. You can visit www.talkingwitht.com and check out ways to tune in. But now,
I'm good out of here.
since you let the cat out the
I
bag,
had to
I
let
might
them-
as well meow and let you know that I am back on air. That's WJBE. You can check out Talking with T on Tuesdays.
Look
And
out.
so that's 99.7 FM, 1040 AM at 1:30 p.m. Want to check us out there. And if that's not enough, every Wednesday at 10:30 p.m., I get to sit here with Mr. Mentor, my mentor, and you can enjoy what's going on.
Now, how can we let our viewing audience know how to get on that show you got down there?
How to get on
Talking
any
with
of
T?
it. If you want to get on any of the shows, visit the website, call the radio station. I'll tell you what, my email is easy. Let's see, I said it's easy. It's talkingwt@aol.com.
Go on with it.
talkingwt@aol.com.
All right.
Yeah.
And all they got to do is just say, I
Just
wanna
reach
be.
out and tell me you want to be on the show. Now, I'll tell you what some people do. We have a talk line. That's 865-409-1170.
Look out.
And when you call the talk line, whatever you say can go on air.
Look out.
So if you have an opinion about one of the topics or some input, you call the talk line. Give your opinion, and we'll collect that feedback for our listeners.
Yeah, I understand through the grapevine that you was trying to taste all the barbecue in town.
I'm telling you something. I got high blood pressure. Now, I was healthy. I went to the doctor. I was healthy. No issues, cholesterol, anything. And so one day I was craving ribs. And I went to the book. That's what I call Facebook,
Okay,
social media. I
Facebook,
went to the
okay.
book.
Yeah.
And I said, somebody tell me where the best barbecue is in Knoxville. And so people started chiming in, and they had Archers and Sweet Peas and Dead End, and those were all good. I tell you who else we can't sleep on is Buddy's Barbecue. I went through the drive-thru. They said, we heard you having a challenge. We want you to taste our barbecue. I said, all right. But now those are commercial barbecue. I needed some hood, drive up on the corner
Look at
barbecue.
Look out now.
Well, I had some people start calling me about that. I'm telling you, my car, my hands, my house, everything been smelling like barbecue for 3 weeks. We are looking for T's top 3.
Okay.
So this month,
Okay.
we're looking for barbecue.
Okay.
I gotta figure out what I'm gonna look for next. It might be hamburgers, hot dogs, fish,
Okay.
sweet potato pies.
Look out now.
You get extra points for the sweet potato pies.
We get extra points.
So y'all stay tuned, and we will reveal T's top 3 barbecue choices. Yeah.
Yeah, look out.
Now, I'm gonna let you know. Maybe you can help me. I'm gonna bring
Yeah.
you some barbecue, and you can help me taste
Yeah,
it.
bring plenty of napkins.
I know that's right.
Well, the farmers markets are already open up.
They are. We have the one downtown. It's kicked off already, as well as
Right.
the one at Harvest Center there by East Town Mall by
Right.
Target.
Mm-hmm.
And the one I'm excited about is
Yeah.
the East Side Sunday Market, the only farmers market on Sunday that's providing accessible fruit, produce, vegetables right here in the heart of East Knoxville,
Mm-hmm.
in the Five Points area, where we're quite a distance from the closest grocery store. They say we're in a food desert.
Okay, that's right.
And so that means that in order for the community members to access those things, they have to travel quite a distance. And we have a lot of people who walk. We have senior citizens. It's just more convenient to have access through our farmers market. So we're
Okay.
proud of that.
And where is it going to be now?
In Hardy Park.
Hardy Park.
In Hardy Park, we're going to have entertainment.
Look out.
We're going to have cooking classes along with the vendors. So we expect a good time of food and fellowship on Sundays at 1 o'clock. Stop by after church, grab your dinner,
Mm-hmm.
be ready. Ready
Be
for the week.
Now, when does this kick off?
In June. So the first Sunday in June.
First Sunday, and it goes to when?
August.
August.
Yeah, right.
So,
So the first Sunday in June through the first Sunday in August.
my goodness. Fresh produce.
Fresh produce. What you say you want? Something with some cuts?
The kudzu jelly.
That,
They
You-
sell it every year down there.
yeah, I'm convinced you didn't make it up, because at first I didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But this kudzu jelly, that you put it on toast and biscuits.
Put it
or-
on toast. They made jelly.
what color
out of-
is it?
It's whatever color they put in. Most of it's green.
What do you mean whatever color they put in it?
Well, you got to color that jelly. You want grape,
Oh, is that what you do?
yeah, grape. You want strawberry.
Oh.
But they do kudzu, so it's green.
And kudzu, right. Kudzu is green. So this is some green jelly.
Green jelly.
I didn't know. I didn't
Yeah. And
might be able to do that, Mr.
they
Mitchell.
take the kudzu weed and make jelly out of it.
Where you get them weeds from?
You can find them anywhere. You can go up there at the Botanical Garden. That's when
Oh,
they
yeah?
brought them goats out.
Right, because they
killed
had
the
so
kud-
many
they
of
had,
them.
had so much kudzu up there. And this grow anywhere. And
And
it's hard to kill.
And you make jelly out of
They
it.
can make jelly out of it.
It's green.
It's whatever
Well.
color they want it to have.
Okay, Mr. Mitchell.
Check it out.
Maybe.
Prove me wrong. I've had some. That's all I can say.
You smiling too.
It was good.
Okay.
But there's a lot of things going on in Knoxville. Let's get out and check it out. The spring is in there and summer is here. So let's get around and check things out. But we need to bring our guests on.
It is time.
I want to talk about this man. He put the J in jazz in Knoxville.
Yes, sir.
And he has a show that comes on called Jazzpirations.
I like the way you say it again.
Jazz. Mr. Brian Clay.
Yes, welcome to
Welcome.
What's Going
Welcome.
Thank you
What's
so much for
going
having
on?
me. It's an honor to be here. I really appreciate it.
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah. We know you're a busy man out there.
Y'all see
in
this?
the jazz world.
I'm going to be selling autographs. Just hit me up. I will collect some and I will be selling autographs.
I
for
gotta
the
stay busy. I gotta
famous.
stay busy.
Yeah.
Famous
Yeah, I can't stop.
Brian Clay.
Yeah.
And you have a radio show that you do too?
I do, as a matter of fact. My radio show is every Sunday afternoon, starting at 4 o'clock on WJBE.
Oh,
it's
yes.
called Jazzpirations with Brian Clay. I really enjoy. That's the best part of my week, Sunday
Okay.
afternoons,
Mm-hmm.
to bring the music to folks. Not just because I enjoy the music. It's definitely my thing, but I enjoy the fact that other people really enjoy the show too.
Yeah.
4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
It's good to
Good
sit
time.
on the patio and listen to
Absolutely.
Jazzpirations.
Some kudzu jelly.
Oh, Lord. On a Sunday
I don't know.
afternoon.
I don't know if I'm gonna do the kudzu jelly. I don't know about that. I'm gonna let y'all try it and let me know.
Well, give our viewers audience a snapshot of Brian Clay.
Let's see. We'll go all the way back. I was born in Chicago, Illinois,
Okay.
such and such years ago.
Yeah, I
I'm
feel
gonna
you.
say that, yeah. Shortly after that, I moved to Minnesota with my family,
Mm-hmm.
and then to Atlanta. Atlanta is where I grew up, elementary school, high school, and
Okay.
everything.
Okay.
Moved here to Knoxville about 10 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
which was a music move. There was someone here that offered me a position to do some music for a church. But before I get to that, I started playing piano when I was 5 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, I was the youngest of 4 boys,
Mhm.
3 older brothers, and everybody at that time, my folks had everybody playing sports and taking music lessons. You know how that is. So
Okay.
everybody, my older brother's taking some guitar, one brother playing piano, And what happened he would be playing the piano, doing his lesson when I was about 4 or 5. When he finished the lesson, I jumped up on the piano and started playing what he had been playing.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, and they were like, okay,
That's
this is
something.
special.
Yeah,
this is something
something.
special.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it took them a while, but they finally found a piano teacher who would teach a 5-year-old. Usually they try to wait until
Right.
you're 7 or 8, you start getting into the school and learning and that kind of thing. But they found one, and she made piano fun for me. Not only did I do classical training, but also she would teach me like Charlie Brown and teach me the Commodores and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So I got my head all wrapped around that, and once I got to be a teenager, I started doing what all kids do that are in music. You're playing in the band. You're trying to create an R&B band. You want to be Earth, Wind, and Fire, or you want to be, that kind of thing. And grew up in Atlanta, where we know now all of the greatest musicians all around the country.
Right.
Started spreading out. New York used to be the place.
Right.
And then LA for more pop or soul music. And then, of course, Chicago, Detroit, Memphis. But then, as I was coming into my teen years, 15, 16, 17, musicians and music was coming to Atlanta.
Right.
So I started cutting my teeth doing live music, playing in clubs, playing with R&B bands, jazz bands there, and just grew into a career where a lot of folks knew me and a lot of folks thought I was pretty talented. And, I did all I could to learn all I could and got into radio as well. So I started doing...
in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, got into radio as well, about 1998, 99. Fast forward to 2010, I decided to move here to Knoxville. I got a call from a friend of mine who said, I got a church here and I need a musician if you want to come up. And I decided to come up.
Okay.
Prayed about it, and the Lord said, go
Come on to
ahead, come on to Knoxville.
Yeah.
So I moved here, me and my wife and my son, and Knoxville has been wonderful for us. The thing that happened that caused my concert series to happen was I was looking for something to do. Me and my wife, she's originally from Chicago.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm from Atlanta. So any given night, Tuesday night at 11 p.m., you can find some live music somewhere. Or you can, Thursday night, any time. But here in Knoxville,
I was thinking where?
Yeah, here in Knoxville, same thing wasn't necessarily happening.
Okay.
So we were like, well, what are we going to do? And we decided that we'd use my radio expertise, we'd use my performance expertise, and create a series, a music series here in Knoxville.
Okay.
And that's how Jazzpirations Live came into being. So got in touch with the folks at WJBE, got my radio show on, and then I started doing a concert series. And here we are now, 7, 8 years later with the concert series. And Knoxville loves it.
And it is quite the
It's
experience.
quite the experience, yeah, it's amazing.
You know a lot of artists in the jazz profession.
I do.
And I noticed that because there's no way you could bring the folks that you're bringing here if you don't know who they are.
Well,
Because he's famous.
I like to say that I have cool friends.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
In the time I spent in Atlanta, I just created a lot of relationships with a lot of musicians, and working in radio, got to meet a bunch of, I've got the snapshots, the selfies before they were really selfies with folks like Anita Baker and John Legend, all these folks. But you come to find out in the industry that all these folks are just really regular folks. They just have amazing talent, they have amazing gifts.
Right.
But they're regular folks, and you create relationships with them. And if I call them up and say, hey, I'm in Knoxville, you'll be in Atlanta, or you'll be in Nashville, you'll be 2-3 hours away. Why don't you come over, do this concert with me?
Oh.
The folks will love you, and it'll be a great thing for this community and for you. And folks are willing to do it.
That's
so
great.
Yeah, it's
great.
it's really a cool thing.
But it also says something about you, that people are willing to trust you
Yeah.
and follow your lead as far as coming to Knoxville and sharing their talent and that magic of Jazzpirations that we've grown to love here. So it's great.
Yeah, I think that's a thing that I learned from my parents, that they always said that, no matter where you are, your stature in life, no matter how high or low or wherever you are, you always want to be the person that people, their lasting impression of you is positive. That people say that's a good person.
Yeah.
That's a solid, never mistreated me or disrespected me, but that's a really good person. So I've tried to do that all my life, and like you said, it returns.
Yes.
People do. They respect
respond to
that,
that.
and they respond to that. So I'm glad for that.
That's
I'm glad
good.
for
Well,
that.
I'm so glad that you took the call to come to Knoxville.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
They used to, in my day, back in the day,
Not too long ago.
Yeah.
Not too long ago.
down on Vine and Central,
Here we
Okay,
go.
here we go.
Here we go.
all the jazz artists used to come through here.
Yeah, that's right.
All Jamal.
And we know that's where WJB started, right?
Yeah, yes,
James
it
Brown?
was James Brown, but
Yeah.
way before James
Way
Brown,
before
way
that.
before James Brown,
Yeah.
way before there was a radio station, WKGN.
Okay.
They had jazz. I can name some of the guys. Ike Rogers used to play jazz. He's a former policeman. He's passed away though, but he was a policeman.
Yeah.
He was the first African American to have a motorcycle with the city.
How do you remember all this stuff?
And
Every
he,
week.
on Sundays, he would play jazz
Where?
on the radio.
On the radio? On the show,
radio.
okay.
Well,
my
back in the day on
Yeah.
WKGN, we had the first one to break in was, I can't think of his name, but he was the first one to be a DJ. And he had a dance like the guy out of New York.
The American Bandstand, that
American
type of thing.
Bandstand.
Yeah.
He was before American
See?
Bandstand.
Oh.
AC Boy Miller.
Okay.
He was before American Bandstand, and he had a show called Teen Dance.
Nice.
And that's what. And then they would have a jazz artist. I can remember folks calling in and listening to KGN and listening to the jazz.
Yeah.
But we've always had jazz, and then it died out.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then came
And
Jazzpirations.
then
See?
it was revived.
I couldn't believe it when I
Resurrected
I
even.
said, man, I said, we got jazz, and I'm talking to some
And I
friends
know
of
you
mine.
love jazz.
Oh yes, I love some jazz.
Yeah.
And I said, do you realize we got jazz back in Knoxville? And I just want to know. My question is,
Yeah.
how hard was it to break into this market with your jazz?
Well, because Knoxville does have a rich history in jazz, and the person that I met here who introduced me to that was Keith Brown, piano
Yes.
player,
Oh, yeah,
and his
right.
father. I met his father, Donald Brown.
Right.
And he, it was like, I was a fanboy when I met him. I'm like, oh my gosh, Donald Brown
Right,
from the
right.
Jazz Messengers. And the thing that it tripped me out a few years ago, he said, yeah, I've been watching what you're doing, Brian. I see what you're doing. I'm like, oh my gosh, really?
Yeah,
Me?
okay.
But there's that rich history here in Knoxville
Mm-hmm.
for jazz. So I think it didn't take much for me to open the door to say, hey, let's do jazz again here in Knoxville, because folks are waiting for it. They were wanting it. They may not have even thought about it, but once they start hearing it, say, yeah, I remember Sunday afternoons relaxing on the porch and listening to some jazz. Yeah, we could do that. So, and the folks at WJBE are great to let me, explore this, kind of a departure from what they normally do the rest of the week
Right.
to do it. But it is a thing that everybody just seems to love. I mean, I was sitting out here in the lobby area, and somebody walked through, and I introduced myself. I said, I'm Brian Clay, and they're like, from the radio on Sunday. It's like, that always surprises me. But it really makes me feel good that it is something that Knoxville embraced. Yeah, it wasn't too tough, though.
Yeah.
Well, when you bring the level of talent and expertise you bring to
yeah.
the table,
Yeah,
I know you
it's,
don't want to toot your own horn. That's why we're here.
well,
Yeah, we're gonna toot it. We're
We'll-
gonna toot it.
Yeah. So it's not hard. I mean, I've had the opportunity to actually fall in love with jazz to a level. I mean, I knew what it was,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think once it becomes an experience behind just listening to it,
Yeah,
that's when you
yeah.
grow to appreciate
Absolutely.
jazz.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. There's nothing better than a live jazz concert.
Oh, my
There's nothing
goodness.
better than watching players perform, watching their interaction, the conversations, the musical conversations you're
Right.
having, and then opening up that conversation to the folks there listening. And having that back and forth, it's wonderful. I love music and I love live performance. So, yeah,
it's great doing what you love. I
yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
A little history note.
Okay.
we had a library on Vine called Carnegie Library.
Okay.
The back end of it was on Bell Street. There was a lounge up under there called Ebony Lounge.
You know
Really?
all
And
the blue lights and the
Blue lights in the basement.
the basements.
there was a guy that came to the University of Tennessee named Scarlett, and
Okay.
he started a group called the Jazz Giant. Just students teaching jazz.
Yeah.
I'm a student at Knoxville College at the time, and you had to be 21 to go to the clubs. I had reached the 21-year age, and he would bring the University of Tennessee students to sit in at the Ebony Lounge.
Mm.
And a lot of the old guys, some of them don't pass on, a few of them are still alive, that played there.
So it was a live jazz set?
Live jazz set. Now, we were segregated. You have to realize now. And they would raid. They would come in and walk around and leave.
Make sure y'all weren't mingling.
We could mingle. They call themselves raiding, but the police would walk in, they would pay it off.
Oh,
But they
okay.
would walk around and
I see.
and
Yeah.
walk out
Yeah.
and let everybody else know we raided, but they ain't took nobody down
Mhm.
Okay.
because we wasn't allowed. Scarlett wasn't allowed to bring the University of Tennessee students
Over there to play.
over there
Yeah.
to play.
Wow.
But all these were jazz musicians,
yeah.
and some of them were policemen.
Wow.
This goes back to the policeman you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they would come in and call themselves raiding, and just walk around and come out.
Okay.
But we could hear some good jazz
That's incredible. That's
at
amazing.
Ebony Lounge. Eventually became Rudy's Lounge, and a lot of stars came here to perform. And it was just a small little place,
Yeah.
but it was packed on the weekend.
The Ebony Lounge.
Ebony Lounge.
That's
It was
all
packed
We
right.
on-
revived that.
Right, exactly. I think for me that's the next step in this, because and my wife Rhonda will tell you that I never want to stop. I'm always thinking of the next thing.
Right.
She'll
Okay.
say, calm down, relax, but I'm always thinking of the next thing. And I started radio, and then the next thing was the concert series. After that, I'm trying to think what the next thing is, and the next thing is a venue.
Yeah.
You say it.
Yeah. And she'll also tell you that when I get my mind set on something,
It's set.
I go until I figure the thing out. So I'm in that mode right now.
So where are
Have
you in
mercy,
the process?
that's good.
And I got to keep it as quiet as possible because
Okay.
I have been talking with some people about
Okay.
it. But we are in the process of location
Okay.
and trying to figure out. I guess you'd say a business plan or cost analysis. to
Right.
see,
Okay.
Yeah.
where do we want to be?
Where?
And how do we want to make sure that it's something that's not going to be a year and gone or two, but
Right.
it's something
We
that
don't want it
stays?
gone.
Yeah, so, but that's my next thing. I want
Wow.
a really wonderful performance venue that everybody can love, but
that would be
that's
great here.
that has an opportunity for local musicians, for the jazz students around here. Maybe there's some daytime hours that high school jazz students can come in and play and
yay.
perform. But then, on a regular basis, you've got national acts that are coming in, and
Oh,
yeah.
You
So.
might want laminated membership.
We got to laminate some stuff,
yes,
right?
yes, to have a membership card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the next thing on my horizon. But you guys will be the first to know everything that's going on.
Wow.
So that
There's a lot of jazz musicians that are still around here that came out of Austin East High School.
yes, yes.
Cleosa Fulton
Uh-huh.
passed away.
Yep.
Carried a jazz band and won the national jazz competition in the Bahamas.
Really?
Miss Bryce was a member of that band.
And she's
Okay.
still here.
And she's still here. Yeah, that's
And
right.
If you ever talk to her about that, she was part of that band.
Yeah.
Elston Turner was a part of that.
Really?
band.
Okay.
Him and his brother all played in that band, and they won the national honors
Look at that.
for jazz.
Well, that's some history I didn't know.
Yeah.
We should tell the band director at Austin East now because he's revived a jazz band and they're quite good.
That's what I heard.
I enjoy them. We're going
Okay.
to connect them with you
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
mentor them and expose our kids to the love of that type of music.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Where are you doing Jazzpirations now?
Jazzpirations now has circled back. You said you had been at one at the Southern Railway Station a few years back, but I'm circled back to the Southern Railway Station again.
Oh, that's in walking distance.
Yeah, it's a walking distance, see?
From where?
From where I live, that's in walking distance.
Y'all look at me.
So I can park on Jackson.
Is that a long way?
You can't drive. Wait, stop.
I can
Let me
park
pause.
on Jackson,
Hold on a second.
and I can walk over.
Is Jazzpirations in the evenings?
It's in the evenings. It's
You know,
yeah.
we talk about you driving at night.
It's
Well, I
in the
just have to
evening.
leave the car there and come back the next morning. I get a ride home. I know what the deal is.
Okay. All right.
Oh wow. Oh wow. But yeah, I'm at the Southern Railway Station down there on the other side of it's West Depot, right across from where the Regus
Right.
building and all that construction is going on. So I'm there one Saturday a month. I used to be the second Saturday of every month.
Okay.
But sometimes it bounces around depending on, what's going on. If there's another event like the Urban Leagues Gala, one was going to be on the same date. So I didn't want to,
Yeah.
do that. I try to make sure that I'm giving everybody an opportunity to do all the
You're
wonderful things
flexible.
there are to do. Yeah.
Okay.
The first year, I got to tell you a story though, real quick. The first year that I started the series, I started in January. Was in a little small room on Market Square.
Right.
And we started growing and growing and growing. We got to August, we got to September, and everything was going great. October, November, attendance went way down. Attendance spiraled down. I was like, what's going on? And they said, young man, you're in Knoxville, Tennessee. Saturdays in the fall
Oh.
is football.
That's right.
So you don't want to get in the way of football. I said, well, what if the game's during the day?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
What if the game's like away? Doesn't matter. So from then on, now my series is January through probably the early September.
Okay.
And then I let the Vols have the football season. I'll do something here and there, maybe a Sunday afternoon or something. But yeah, I had to back up. I had to learn to back up from them football Vols, man.
Yeah, very quickly, tell
Yes.
them how they, viewers, how they can find out. I know you do the website.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
face, your face,
His
and all
face,
that
yeah,
stuff.
the book,
Yeah,
as she
book.
calls it, the book.
Yeah,
It's
And
really-
what kind of bird?
yeah, the Tweety bird.
The Tweety bird. Oh my goodness. There's two easy ways. First of all, the website smoothjazzknoxville.com. If you go there, you can find out everything that's going on with me and with Jazzpirations.
Okay.
And then on Facebook, just look me up, Brian Clay. And I'm always I use the book
The book.
to tell people about what I'm doing in music. So just find me, Brian Clay, on Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, and you'll find me.
All
I'm
right, all right, Brian. We want to thank you for taking your time out from your busy schedule and coming on what's going on.
Thank
and
you.
tell us
Thank you
about
for
the-
having
the
me. I
jazz
appreciate it.
world.
Yeah.
While I have an audience, can I ask you to come on Talking with T?
Absolutely.
I have
Look at
witnesses.
now.
I have
Absolutely.
witnesses.
She got witnesses. You got
Okay.
me. You
All
call
right.
me and you let me know what date I need to be there,
And you there?
and I'm there.
Okay.
I'm there. Absolutely.
All right. Look out for him now. Jazzpirations.
Jazzpirations. I think I need to record that. Use that on the show.
Use that on the show.
Don't forget, our show comes on every Wednesday at 10:30 p.m.
Yeah. And so before we leave, I want to leave us with a thought for the week. There are two important days in your life: the day you are born and the day you find out why.
If you don't support,
We don't exist.
see you next time.